Well, what a stunning morning it is, and a great location for what I'm about to tell you. This is where it all started for me and Charlie. It's that 6+ years ago, where he wanted to build a camp and do a little bit of bushcraft, and I weren't interested at all. But look at the state, 6 years on, and I'm more interested than he is. So anyway, it's been a life-changing experience these past 6 years. I have done absolutely, oh gosh, loads of different adventures and challenges for charities and things like that, and met amazing people who will be my close friends for years and hopefully forever. Yeah, black flies everywhere and midge, it's horrible. But yeah, last year, as the title shows, I applied for a game show. Would you call it a game show? A show. It's a show that I've been watching since it's been going, 10 years plus now, and this is my journey throughout the competition and where I ended up finally in the competition. As you can see, I wasn't actually in the show, but I can talk about it now and take you through everything that happened, and you guys are gonna hear my journey.
I've got Chris over at MCM Outdoors to thank for this. He actually sent me a text, gosh, what will it be, a year ago, last March. And the text kind of went, do you fancy applying for this game show? But I don't know whether it is actually true or it's just like a spam email. It did look a little bit dodgy. It was very, very sparse. There was not much information on it. It just said, do you fancy applying for a survival game show? And if so, if you'd fill in the details below and send it off. So I kind of ummed and ahed about it because it really did look dodgy. I left it about a week and I was lying in bed, literally 11 o'clock, and I was up for work for 5 the next morning, and I just thought, do you know what, I'm just going to fill it in and send it off. So it took me about an hour, filled the details in and sent it off, and within 24 hours I got an email back saying if they could possibly give me a quick call and we'd discuss it a little bit further. So that following day, I received a phone call from a lady down south, and she was, I call her my handler. She literally asked a load of survival questions. What do I do outdoors? What skill sets have I got and things like that? What interests? We were on the phone for probably around about 45 minutes or so, and then eventually, as the call came to an end, she said, would you be interested in doing a Zoom call? So obviously, you know, seeing my face and all that. So the wait lasted around about a week, and then I finally got through another email which said we will be getting in contact on this date and we'll be doing a Zoom call interview, and it will be kind of the same questions basically as to what she asked on the phone. So yeah, we went through all that, and yeah, as I say, a lovely lady, and yeah, I did well. So the next stage was a visit to Granada Studios, and I'd never been there before. You know, it was all new to me. I was very, very excited and also nervous. So I went a little bit cray-cray and took my bow drill with me. Why on earth I thought that was a good idea to actually show my bow drill skills actually in a studio inside a building. But I took it anyway. So I sat round a massive conference table, and there was another guy there. This guy, he was, how can I say, a very, very chatty mank. And it turned out who was actually on the show. And yeah, real nice bloke, real good to chat to, and we wished each other the best of luck and went our separate ways into the interview rooms. In there, I got set up with my bow drill, yeah, weird. And yeah, the lady in there, she was the producer, and she went through all the details as to what was going to happen in that room, which was me being filmed basically on one of these high-tech cameras. You wanted to see it, it was ace. So yeah, did my interview pretty much exactly the same as the Zoom call interview, asking my skill sets and things like that, and what I do in this situation and that situation. It was really, really good. And yeah, I had to wait again for another phone call. And that phone call came and they said, would you be interested in coming down and doing a 3-day event to show your skill sets off and to see if you can actually survive on basically a desert island. So we turned up, and in an undisclosed location. I'm not going to tell you where it is, just in case they use it again. But yeah, we all turned up, and there was a whole bunch of us. I think there was about 16 of us at the time, and I got through to the last 26 in the country, which I was pretty darn chuffed about, guys. I can tell you that I was really over the moon to be pitted up against the best of the best, I suppose. And yeah, it's pretty much stemmed from there. I had 3 days of pure torture and starvation. So day one, we actually met our coaches for the 3-day event. After all the niceties were out the way, all the introductions and things like that, and telling us about the show, we had 2 hours to ourselves to make camp. So basically, we had to make a shelter pretty quick. So we had 2 hours. Basically, off you all go into the woodland and find yourself a spot. So we had a good look around and then came across this little dip on this hillside, and I thought, do you know what, that's going to be perfect for an A-frame shelter. So I dug the pit out, got rid of all the debris, and started work on the shelter, threw my tarp over it, and that was the 2 hours up. We went meeting back around the campfire, quickly discussed what we had done, and then, right, come on, take us round and we'll have a look at each and everyone's shelters basically, and yeah, that's what we did. So after that, it was time for lunch. Who am I kidding? We got literally nothing. We starved. After that, we went into the parachute area. It was like basically a massive parachute where you could sit round, and just in case it were raining. And they discussed what camera equipment we would be using on the shore, which was absolutely fantastic. This gear was just ace. Only filmed in HD, but there were a lot of wonga. So yeah, we had a good training session on that, and then after that we had another 2-hour window where we needed to do a little bit more to the shelter. So that was great. I felt a little bit more relaxed actually, because I knew in my head what I wanted to achieve with the shelter, which was basically half of the tarp and half debris. Got that done pretty sharpish, and then I also made a heat shield and dug out a fire pit as well. So again, same thing, we all met around the fire, talked about it, and then we all went having a look around and seeing what we all got up to. So after checking out the shelters again, we went back around the fire, and we were given about an hour to collect some resources because they wanted to see us lighting a fire with a ferrocerium rod. So that was it. I took myself off and found myself a birch tree. It was downed, and started work on getting some of the bark off. In that time, I was chatting away with 3 of the contestants, and found out that they've never lit a fire before. So I showed them how to do it with birch bark. You know, you scratch it, you create the dust, and then you get your ferrocerium rod, and hey presto, fingers crossed, you get a fire. So yeah, we kind of stuck together and went back to the fireplace and showed our skill set. But yeah, we had a nice chat around the campfire, and just explained why we wanted to do the show and things, and then it was time for bed. That was it. Day 1 over. So day 2 broke pretty early. I was up and at 'em for around about 6:30, 7 o'clock, something like that, and yeah, I had a really good night's sleep, which I was happy about, because it gave me enough energy to get through that morning, which was a swim test. Yes, you had to swim and tread water for about 10 minutes or something like that, just to make sure that you could actually swim, because out in Canada, yes, that's right, we found out that it was going to be Canada where we would be going, and yeah, you needed to be able to get yourself back to shore just in case anything happened while you were there. So you guessed it, yes, back around the campfire again. This time we had an hour and a half to basically go out and find materials to make a bow drill. So I was absolutely over the moon, because that was my main skill set. I've been practicing it over a year and thought I was quite proficient in it. So off we all went and disappeared around the woodland trying to find the correct materials to make the set. A couple of them weren't sure about making a bow drill, so I kind of showed them how to do it, and yeah, we all met back up after an hour and a half of making them, and then basically tried to get an ember. Unfortunately, this proved to be a real tough test, and yeah, we all struggled with it. I mean, I managed to get a whiff of smoke with mine. My materials it was just hardwood. It was too hard, and it just wasn't working for me. Others had more success. Even the ones who hadn't tried bow drill before really got stuck in and got some really good smoke, but didn't manage to light the ember. And yeah, Rick, he did his utmost to get it. He got the most smoke of everybody, but unfortunately it still wasn't to be. And then right at the end, after we all downed tools, came over and asked Rick if he could have a go of his set, and managed to get the ember. And then Rick popped it into a bundle and blew it all up into flames, and everybody cheered, and it was just a real good feel good factor, feel good moment there. So yeah, hats off to you, Rick, there, mate. Then after that, it was back round the campfire to basically talk about what we was going to have for our tea dinner. And yeah, it turns out to be a rabbit. Yeah, it wasn't prepared for you. You had to do it yourself. You basically had to cut it all up and basically make a meal of it, which we did. And yeah, I really enjoyed that part because I was absolutely, utterly starving. Unfortunately, as I went, I took the morrow with me, and yeah, I was a little bit excited, and I sliced my finger, which was a pretty decent cut actually. So yeah, I was a little bit depressed about that. After sorted it out for me and basically got a band-aid round it, I was off again. I was the last one, unfortunately, to get my my rabbit all quartered and in the frying pan. I took the frying pan. Yeah, a lot of people boiled it up. It was a lot tender, like more tender boil, but I decided to get it all fried up, and basically I ate the lot. The heart, the lungs, the liver, everything went down my neck, and it was probably the best dinner that I have ever had. I was absolutely starving. So yeah, I knew that come the show that I wouldn't be bothered eating really dodgy things, and that didn't bother me whatsoever. As long as I got some sort of nourishment down my neck, I would have been happy. So that was pretty much it. Day 2 over with, and we were exhausted, so we had a chat as we did the previous night around the fire, but people kind of sloped off quite sharpish and got into their pits for a good night's sleep. So morning broke, and you could just smell it in the air. That's it, bacon. Yeah, we had a nice slap-up breakfast, and that prepared us for what was to come, which were the interviews. One by one, we had to go up and have a chat with the producers of the show, and they asked us a bunch of questions. Not going to go into the questions and things like that, but yeah, they asked us a bunch of questions, and yeah, you just had to answer them to the best of your knowledge. And yeah, it was really relaxed. I think I was the last one or second to the last one to go up. it gave me enough time to actually get a bow drill set out and do my magic, because I was determined to actually get an ember. Basically pulled out, you've probably seen it in my videos, I've got a little stone around my neck which acts as the bearing for the spindle, and yeah, it's kind of cheating in it, but I was determined to get that ember. I really wanted to show my skill set, and so I had a look round and I found a nice set. Actually, it was a nice softwood set, so off I went and tried my hardest to get the ember, which I got, and I was over the moon with, and I blew it into flame, and yeah, happy days. I was really chuffed with that. Came down and said there was only one person in history in the 10 years that has ever got an ember on the base camp, and yeah, I was the second, so I'm pretty chuffed with that outcome. So if nothing else, I got the bow drill ember. And then that was it. It was time to go home and wait to see what happened, whether I got on the show or not. And as you guys know, I didn't. But hey, never mind. It was an absolutely, I can't tell you how much of a fabulous experience it actually was, and I would highly recommend that you guys try it. A little bit disappointing, obviously, that I didn't get on the show, but I really enjoyed the experience. So I just want to give a massive shout out to Mike Pullin of TA Outdoors. He didn't actually know it, but he helped me out loads, shelter building and also making traps. He spent numerous times on the phone with me, just having a chat and just basically tweaking things, and like I say, he didn't have a clue what I was doing. He was just basically helping a mate out. So thanks very much, pal. It just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I truly have. It's been a fun experience remembering it and looking at the photos again, and yeah, it's just been real good fun. So thank you, and hopefully see you next time.
This is the result. So yeah, we managed it. Well, that's it. I mean, you've got to be able to adapt to any type of situation, I think, in the outdoors, just in case you do forget something. And that's why I like bushcraft, because you know, you're thinking outside of the box all the time. What can I do?